Hello, welcome back to Harman Art TV. In today's video, I'd like to talk about, does art need a story? Yeah, so if you're new to this channel is about sharing my journey as an artist and my passion for all things art. So you're welcome to join me. Yeah, so I'm a British artist based in the UK, and I create abstract ceramic sculpture and 2D artworks. And it's all inspired by Stonehenge and stone circles in the UK, and it's all driven by curiosity. So at the moment we're just in my studio, so I just thought I'd put these sculptures out that I'm working on currently, to give you some kind of update about what's going on in the studio. Yeah, so I mean, does art need a story? I think that's a really interesting question. And so I thought I would make a video to kind of dive deep into that. So yeah, I'm going to explain this from my experience from viewing other people's art first. I think in the art world of today there are many forms of artworks ranging from figurative, surreal, abstract, documentary, political. I don't think every type of artwork I engage with is clearly depicting something that is recognizable, although sometimes there is hints of something that I can relate to in the art that I kind of look at, whether that's a gallery or a museum. But in some cases I need to interpret the art in my own way. I mean, obviously it depends what it is. So if it's a person, for example, usually I can relate to it pretty quickly and figure out if there's a story because I can clearly understand what's happening in that artwork. So often when I go to a gallery or museum, I will usually see a statement of some kind next to an artwork, describing a story behind the artwork that I'm seeing. And this can sometimes be written from the artist or the gallery or museum that the work is placed in, to describe why it was created. In some ways I find it useful to see a written story from the artist about the artwork I'm looking at. I think this can help me to understand the work, like why the artist created it. However, I also realised that I don't always need to look at the statement next to the artwork. Sometimes I just want to look at the artwork and be engaged by it. But on the flip side, maybe an artwork does not need a story. In some ways I think art can be like music. If you listen to music, for me anyway, it takes me on a journey. I'm led by an experience, and it depends what music I listen to. If I listen to some kind of instrumental music without any vocals, it's very abstract, and I'm just triggered by the sounds, and my emotions and my feelings relate to the sounds, depending on what the sounds are. Whether they're fast, calming, angry, peaceful. Yeah, so in that case I don't always need to understand the song to appreciate it. And I like to use music as a metaphor for art, because sometimes for me, when I look at artwork, sometimes I don't need to look at the story. I just look at the artwork and I just experience it, and I just appreciate the beauty of it, and I'm just in that moment, and that artwork speaks to me about something through its own language, its own visual language. Yeah, so why do I like to use story in my art? Since the beginning of lockdown in the UK from March 2020, I've been doing a lot of self-evaluation as a person and as an artist. It really it really got me to dig deeper into why I create art, and and what the message is behind my art. And it made me realise being an artist is not just a career or business. For me, it's a way of life. It's a lifestyle, and it's it also embodies like who I am, and expresses my life experience and my outlook on life. And it made me realise I can use my art to communicate messages to the world and to connect with you guys. I realised I could not only create art, but I can learn to talk about why I created an artwork to extend my message further. So that, so for me as an artist, I use story. So I have been using story quite a lot recently, and but I think that's been helpful just to extend my ideas further, and to really dive deep into the meaning, why I create it, and it helps me just bring some clarity into why I'm doing this, and what I'd like people to take away from it. So I create a lot of art in an abstract style, where I'm not regularly depicting imagery that is identifiable. It's more symbolic to an experience, and I often want the viewer to view my artwork using their own interpretation. So I often use story just to help describe my art further for people who look at it. Because like for these pieces, you might look at it and you might be just thinking, well, where's the story behind these pieces? I can see there are these open forms, I can experience the inside space and the outside space, but there is a reason as to why I'm creating these pieces. When I really think about it, there's a reason why I create these pieces. And so having a story next to the artwork can just help to give more kind of meaning behind what I'm doing if that person chooses to read that story. Yes, I would like the viewer to interpret the art in their own way, but I'd also like to give people clues as to why I made it for a written description. And this is optional for people to read, but I think it's nice to have there. My art can often relate to personal life experiences. I want to acknowledge these through writing, so that can also connect to you. Writing about my art has given me more clarity as to why I create my art. And I write about my art because I want to keep learning and evolving to become a better artist. And I write about my art to contribute new ideas into the world. And for me, it's not just about, for me, art is not just about product. It reflects what it means to be human, and it has the power to convey messages that people in general might not want to talk about openly. And that just got me thinking about a podcast I was listening to recently. It was about an artist called Clark Healings. I think he was an American figurative painter, and it was interesting listening to the story because the guy was just talking about how this figurative painter was painting people, but he was painting people in work life. And and when I saw his paintings online, I thought, these are just paintings of people. But when this guy was describing why this artist painted these people, it made me realise that he wasn't just painting people for the sake of painting people. He was painting people because he wanted to convey a message. He wanted to use his art to talk about deep-rooted issues in society during that time that people generally didn't want to talk about or confront, because he was trying to bring to the forefront people who were often hidden from the economy, people who produce things, people who create things who are often hidden from the economy. So people who would say make products, you know, you think like people who make products like this camera you're watching this video on, you don't know the people who made this camera, you know, but we just accept the fact that we can enjoy this product and take it for granted. So this is what this artist was doing. He's recording the working lives of people to make them more visible, rather invisible from society. And so that just got me thinking that yes, you could understand these were figurative people, but on the front of it I had to dig deeper to find out the story. And that's what I'm trying to say in this video, is that this is why I think story for me is important, because it just gives further meaning behind the artwork. And yes, you can gain hints here and there, but the power of art, I think, is to communicate a message and to let that person dive deeper into the meaning of that artwork so they can relate to them and also relate to the world around you and open up new conversation, new ideas and new discussions. Anyway, that's a wrap. Sorry for looking down again, I got my notes. I've been writing a lot of notes recently, so I find it helps just to keep the video on track and just give myself clarity. Just like the video's title suggests, well, you know, what is my art needs story? I also need to write down notes just to keep myself on focus. But anyway, I hope you've really enjoyed this video and given you kind of some new ideas. And if you've liked this video, feel free to like it. If you really enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe to Harman Art TV, and don't forget to hit the bell notification to be notified about future videos. And also, you're welcome to support me on Patreon, and I'll leave a link below, and on there you'll get exclusive access to, you know, things like behind the scenes content, merchandise delivered straight to your door anywhere in the world, and yeah, and all that kind of good stuff. So feel free to check that out in the description below. Yeah, and who knows, I mean, what do you guys think about this video? You know, do you think art needs a story? Or do you think that, you know what, maybe art doesn't need a story because I just want to experience it in my own way? But it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts, see your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment down below. But anyway, I hope you've really enjoyed this video. It's definitely got me thinking a lot as well, because I'm always trying to evolve and trying to better myself, so I'm always trying to learn. But anyway, yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself, bye-bye.